Hi, I'm Dylan Somerville, and today I'm going to be talking about seasonal shanty and the new seasonals to come. Currently, 8 monsters inhabit seasonal shanty, excluding rares and epics: Punkleton, Yule, Schmoochel, Blabbit, Hula, Gobbledygourd, Jamboree, and the newest member, Clavavera. As of now, only 3 of these have unique breeding combos: Gobbledygourd, Jamboree, and Clavavera. All others are bred with any combination of those 3. Hello, sorry to interrupt. Just a quick note, with Epic Tring coming out during Festa Livier and the fact that it has eggs on it, I think it could be hinting to the next seasonal, and I speculate it could be some kind of winter ice sculpture event, like Winterlude or the Harbin Ice Festival. I never bring this up in the video because I recorded the audio before Festa Livier started, so yeah, enjoy the video. Now, this theory was going to be about how many seasonals to expect and what seasonal events they could be based on. However, partway through making this, it was confirmed on the December Handler Hangout that the newer seasonals are hybrid adjacent, so we know how many we'll be getting. We currently have 8, and the total amount we will have is 15, meaning there are 7 more seasonals on their way. Now, let me explain. The 3 seasonals that were not from the original 5 are each hybrids. First off, Gobbledygourd. Now, Gobbledygourd is interesting because it may not have originally been integrated as a hybrid, but from its breeding combo, Punkleton and Yule, we start to get a picture of what to expect. Feastember is based on Thanksgiving, a time of year to give thanks to bountiful harvest by eating a large feast. Now, Punkleton is based on a pumpkin, which is a kind of gourd, Gobbledygourd, and during Christmas there's also a large feast, so that's how the Festival of Yay connection is. Then, with Jamboree, it's based on Anniversary Month, a holiday that encapsulates birthdays in general, but specifically marks the birthday of My City Monsters. Now, an aspect of this event is the fact that it occurs at the end of summer. Another important feature is the fact that Jamboree is quite creepy, almost haunting, with candles that resemble ghosts. It makes perfect sense that it would be a Spooktacle and Summer Song hybrid. And finally, we have the newest seasonal, Clavavera. Now, Clavavera is very clearly related to Spooktacle in the fact that it can communicate with the dead, and is a skeleton, but its connection to Season of Love is a bit less obvious. However, the main aspect that catches my eye is how much heart imagery there is. There's a heart on their forehead, hearts on their legs, and even their dress resembles a heart. Plus, their seasonal event is called the Beat Hereafter, Heartbeat, and just a monster who can communicate with loved ones who have passed on just makes for a perfect combination of Spooktacle and Season of Love. First, here's a short list of 20 possible events I found for potential seasonal events. In chronological order, we have New Year's, Lunar New Year, the Lantern Festival, Mardi Gras, St. Patrick's Day, Holi, April Fools, Cinco de Mayo, the Cherry Blossom Festival, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Canada Day, 4th of July, Running of the Bulls, Summer Solstice, La Tomatina, Carnival, Oktoberfest, Remembrance Day, and the Harbin Ice Festival. Now let's shorten it. Carnival, Oktoberfest, and Remembrance Day have all passed, so they can be taken off the list. New Year's, Lunar New Year, and the Lantern Festival all feel too similar. However, New Year's and the Lantern Festival both have unique aspects that differentiate them, so I'm taking out Chinese New Year. 4th of July and Canada Day are very similar, so they could be easily combined into one. Mother's Day and Father's Day don't really feel like they could be seasonal events, and while it sounds good, Summer Solstice actually occurs twice in the year, first when it's summer in the north, and then when it's summer in the south. So unless this event happens twice, it's safe to be taken off the list. Next, let's take a closer look at the events revealed. So far, aside from Anniversary Month, they both have close ties to cultures in specific countries. Feastember is based on Thanksgiving, and though it's celebrated in Canada, among other places, Thanksgiving is very commonly associated with the United States. Then we have the Beat Hereafter, which is very clearly based on Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead, which stems from Mexican culture. So I think to broaden the reach with these holidays, none of the events will stem from the same culture. Coming from this logic, we can take out Mardi Gras and Cinco de Mayo. The Lantern Festival and Harbin Ice Festival both have Chinese origins, while Running from the Bulls and La Tomatina both have Spanish origins. So to deal with that, I think it's best to remove the Harbin Ice Festival and Running of the Bulls due to them both being lesser known, and both would cause problems in the next part. Next, let's look at overlap, because there's one thing that I haven't brought up, and that's the calendar. Now, with only 12 months and 15 events, it's safe to assume MSM is going to be jam-packed with seasonal events. Now, this is what the 2020 and 2021 years looked like in terms of seasonal events. In the past, they were much less organized and started and ended whenever felt best. However, as you see here, recently there is much more of a pattern. For example, all events start on Wednesdays and most end on a Tuesday. The Season of Love, Eggs-Travaganza, Spooktacle, and Feastember events last for 3 weeks. Spooktacle, however, ended a day later in 2020 and a day earlier in 2021, and Feastember lasted only 2 weeks and ended a day earlier in 2020. Summer Song lasts for 4 weeks and ended a day later in 2020 and a day earlier in 2021. Anniversary Month and Festival of Yay both last the longest at 5 weeks, ending on a Monday. Anniversary Month, before it got a seasonal, has lasted longer. After seeing this, if we were to put the remaining celebrations on the calendar, no matter how much you try to condense it, March and April are just too cramped. So to make room, we have to remove the final one, that being Holly, one of my favorites. But the others in that time span are either already in the game or are highly anticipated. So to summarize, my predictions are we will be getting the international celebration of New Year's at the start of January, the Chinese celebration, the Lantern Festival, in February after Season of Love, the Irish celebration, St. Patrick's Day, at the start of March, the French-originated celebration, April Fools, at the start of April, the Japanese celebration, the Cherry Blossom Festival, around the end of April to the start of May, the Canadian celebration, Canada Day, at the end of June to the start of July, and the Spanish celebration, La Tomatina, right after Summer Song. So with that, here's an estimate on what 2023 will look like for seasonal events. Yeah, late winter and early spring is stacked. The reason I'm going with the year 2023 is because this is the first year where all 50 events will be celebrated. I explained why in my other video, so go check that out. An alternative would be to replace April Fools with a holiday in May or June, like Ramadan or Body Day. Is it Body Day? Anyway, and shift Extravaganza, and or change Lantern Festival into Lunar New Year so it occurs before Valentine's Day. I could also see Summer Song becoming shorter, letting La Tomatina become longer. Finally, there's also the possibility that seasonal events could overlap, which would offer more interesting seasonal celebrations, since never have 2 events taken place at the same time. Like, wouldn't it be cool if while Spooktacle was coming to a close, Beat Hereafter starts? It would alleviate restrictions on when seasonal events can occur, and would make it so events don't need to be shortened for time restraints. Next, let's look at matching these holidays with the 7 remaining breeding combos. They are Punkleton plus Blabbit, Yule plus Schmoochel, Yule plus Blabbit, Yule plus Hula, Schmoochel plus Blabbit, Schmoochel plus Hula, and Blabbit plus Hula. Now, this may come as a bit of a stretch, but I think April Fools would work as a Spooktacle and Eggs-Travaganza combination, as April Fools is all about scaring or tricking others. Spooktacle is about scary things, and though Extravaganza isn't about tricking people, Blabbit is often considered a sly or tricky monster, as it steals other monsters' eggs and hides them. Now, the associated island is a bit harder to determine, but I think the best island for it would be Ethereal Island, and I'll discuss a bit further why in a bit. This combination could lend itself very well with a Cherry Blossom Festival, just due to the color scheme resembling Season of Love and the plant connection similar to Yay. It would be very easy to make a monster with this combination related to the Cherry Blossom Festival. Now, this one could very easily appear on Fire Oasis. Next, I will be talking about the Yay and Egg combination, which I think fits St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day is mainly known for being green, which is where Yay comes in, because one of the Christmas colors is green. It's also known for its Irish origins, and leprechauns are often associated with them, and going off the same logic with Blabbit as before, leprechauns are tricksters. And of course, it would appear on Fairy Island. Yay and Summer was one that I wasn't sure I could find something that could fit it, because they're pretty much polar opposites, but while going through the seasonal events, I think New Year's is a perfect representation, because one very prominent theme during New Year's is light. From fireworks to sparklers, there's no shortage of light during this event, and with it taking place during the coldest time of year, it takes the cold temperatures from Yay and adds the brightness of Summer to make a perfect combination of the two. It would of course be on Light Island. Next, for this Schmoochel and Blabbit combination, I think the Lantern Festival works best, since lanterns during this event are usually painted or decorated for the festival, similar to eggs during Easter, and the celebration symbolizes unity, forgiveness, and peace, all loving qualities, and it would fit nicely on Magical Sanctum. Also, one theory about the origin of April Fools comes from when France changed to the Gregorian calendar back in old times. People would celebrate New Year's on April 1st, but then when it was changed to January 1st, those who were slow to recognize this would be considered fools. And with the Lantern Festival being part of Lunar New Year, it would be a nice tie-in that both islands in the Pocket Dimension would celebrate holidays that stem from New Year's, but not take place on New Year. Next, we have Love in Summer, which I believe would be excellent for Canada Day, and this patriotic monster could appear on Sugarbush Island, since that island is on the seam. The seam, for those unaware, is a place where the monster world and the human world connect, which could be how it celebrates this occasion. However, an alternative could be Gold Island, but since Anniversary Month already takes place there, I highly doubt it. Finally, we have the combination of Eggs-Travaganza plus Summer. And this one I put here because I honestly couldn't think of anything else. It's the Tomatina, although I can think of a reason. The event takes place during summer, so Summer Song, and it's all about throwing food, and eggs are food, so Eggs-Travaganza. This, of course, only leaves Psychic Island, which it really doesn't fit, so the islands may be changed up a bit, but even then, none of these holidays really complement Psychic Island very well. From these 7, I'd say St. Patrick's Day is almost guaranteed, New Year's is very likely, the Lantern Festival and the Cherry Blossom Festival are kind of likely, April Fool's and Canada Day are unlikely, and La Tomatina is the least likely. Really, only time will tell, because an aspect of these combos is also their design, and there's no way to know what these monsters will look like. Also, if you have any suggestions on what celebrations could fill these, I'd love to read them in the comments. There are so many celebrations and holidays that they could be, it's almost impossible to predict which ones Big Blue Bubble will choose.